What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Grey Exchange. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Everything looks good. Sound looks good. I'm pretty sure I'm 5x5. 10-second commercials. Oh, yeah, I hear you, Yarn. And you can't skip past them. You can't skip past them. Evidently, from my understanding, they do that during the holidays. Try to get as much money from their advertisers as they possibly can. All right. So I got some 5x5s. I'm going to back up the chat a bit to say hello. Some of you folks have been sitting here chatting. I'll have to get back to some of those questions, and then I'll discuss tonight's topic and why I chose this topic and who I want to give credit for. So what's up, Pure Blood Prepper? Good in the woods. Good evening, Angela. How you doing, Angela? Good to see you. And prayers go out to you as well. South Florida DCL. Minuteman 69, still trying to win stuff. A Crafters Grimoire Sanctuary. Awesome. Sounds like a new name. Welcome to the channel. Mama Bear J15. Hello. Good to see you. KT, how you doing? Getting close to that birthday there, yours, KT, huh? All right. And who else do we have in here tonight? Shift Engineering. Good up. What's up, brother? How you doing? Hope everything is good. A Primo, how you doing? Yarn Prepper's in the house. Good old Yarn. Pink Southern Girl, good to see us. You see, who else do we have in here? Did I get South Florida? I think I did. Harvey Black, good to see you, my friend. All right. Who else do we have in here? I'm trying to scroll through. I'm trying to catch up, folks. You guys were chatting it up, which is always good. What's up, Jeff? Good. What's up? Good to see you, Jeff. Hey, hopefully you got your card. Oh, I got yours, Jeff. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about that once I say my hellos and salutations and all that fun stuff like that. What's up, Julie? How you doing tonight? Let me see here. Andrew Quorum, how you doing? Merry Christmas. Who else we got? Big Bear Prepper in the house. Good to see you, brother. Latina Preppers in the house. Zombie Prepper, RG71. Whoa, that was quick. Things just went crazy. KB, how you doing? Emperor's Kimberly, Joni, Lori D, Tammy, Jan. All right, Dragon Slayer. Hey, Dragon, in chat, can you let me know? I'm trying to figure out if I missed anything. And Dragon, I was supposed to send you something. I don't know if I did or didn't. So can you please let me know? Let me see. Yeah, Bringer of Change, you're absolutely right. Good to see you, brother. Let me see. We have Aaron Goodman in the house. Nurse 01. How you doing? Sharon Ingold. Who else do we have? Deborah Hines. Duke Man. Good to see you, brother. You see America First. Alien Prepper. Lori S. Dale. Bryce. Janine. Vanta. S. Moore. Three Dogs. And a Paul. I like that one. Leona Riley. Biker Mike. Let me see here. We have Daphne Nutter. Homestead Jen. Karen Murphy. Wilda Velasquez. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I didn't miss anybody. I'm hoping. Bryce. Did I get you, Bryce? I hope I did. Not yet. Okay. Thank you, Dragon. I needed to know that. So I do apologize for the inconvenience. I've just been bogged down with so many different things and Christmas cards and all kinds of other stuff. I was like, did I send it or did I not send it? So I'll take care of you, Dragon. Didn't want to forget about you. Let me see here else. We got Sweet Liberty. Good to see you, Yvez. All right. Coffee first and speak. Speaking of coffee, let me take a sip. Diabetic Prepper. Good to see you, brother. All right. I think I've caught up to everybody. All right. So let me throw my little banner up there, which I always forget to throw up there, because I want everybody to know on the 23rd, which is this Thursday, we're going to do, technically I've been on YouTube for a year as like the 15th or 16th, but we're going to celebrate that as also on the 23rd, which is KT's birthday. By the way, guys, hopefully he'll be there. And I always get that wrong because I just go by KT. So if I get that wrong, my apologies. But where was I at? So I want to just it's up to you folks. If you guys want to be there, there's gonna not really be a topic on the 23rd. It's Late Night with Grey. It's just a kind of a Christmas Eve celebration, which is to follow. And of course, I'll be off on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So it's just my way to connect with you, the viewers, right before the holidays start. And kind of wish you guys a Merry Christmas. We'll probably talk about some fun stuff. And who knows? We'll come up with something fun to talk about. And I might do something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But what's up, Freaky Geek? Cellar Dork, Christy, DB, Terry. Oh, that would be awesome, Dragon Slayer. No, I'm still going to do it. If I promise someone something, I'm trying to, because there's things that I forget and no one reminds me. There's a couple folks that I've forgotten stuff. And then all of a sudden, a month later, they said, hey, you never sent me that. I'm like, you didn't remind me. I'm old. I forget things. Oh, man. What's up, Deborah? How you doing? All right, folks. So Thumbnail, right? I hope all you folks know what that acronym stands for. It stands for the end of the world as you know it. And a lot of folks will take that out of context and they use it in a different manner. But we're going to use it in a preparedness aspect. And I appreciate all the comments that I got for me being absent on the Sunday because I had that Christmas party. Also, I want to thank every single one of you who watched the Toys for Tots drive video. I was thrilled with it. We only got 1 thumbs down. So only one person was mad that we donated to children, less fortunate children, for Toys for Tots. Only one person out of all the comments and stuff like that. Only one person. So that's not too bad. There's only one Grinch out there. Yeah, right on, Julie. Right on, Julie. Well, I feel like I'm old. I got the gray hair going, guys. I got the gray hair going. And first of all, let me see how many folks we got in chat. We got 93 so far. Thank you all for being here. And we got 51 thumbs up. So I truly appreciate that. So I want to, let me bring this up here. I want to kind of explain why I want to go over this topic. And I need to give credit to where credit's due. This is not my own doing. There's a gentleman by the name of Todd Savage. And there used to be a website called the Prepping Project. And he had posted this on his blog back in 2014, if I recall correctly. And as a matter of fact, I put a link to the only place that I could find this list on in case you guys want to fall back onto it. But we're going to kind of go over this list a bit. And I don't want to deter anybody from some of the things I'm going to go over. But basically, we need to be self-aware of some of the things that are on this list and the fact that there's some unfortunate events that happens in a situation like the end of the world as we know it. And yeah, so like I said, his name was Todd Savage. I want to get where credit's due. So that's where we're I want to make sure that I give credit to where I find things. Because I'll be honest with you folks, I haven't watched much YouTube in the last few days. I've been very busy. I'm pretty sure a lot of you folks get busy as well. Excuse me, it's the holidays. We got family over. What's up, Carol Dodson? How you doing? Leona Riley, I'm a survivor. Appreciate you tuning in. Ragnar, Thor's Hammer, awesome. Better late than never, brother. Second Amendment, good to see you. Babasia Tori, like I said, better late than never. Folks are always rolling in because sometimes, and matter of fact, folks, I want to explain something. The two has done a little bit of has done some negative stuff to the channel. They haven't been happy with the last couple lives that I did in regards to the locked up Santa one that I did and the one before that. So they did a purge on my channel. So a lot of subscribers got unsubscribed, probably about 30 of you guys. I've had a couple of people reach out to me and say, hey, man, I wasn't getting notifications. I checked my thing. I was unsubscribed from you. So something that you need to be vigilant of because YouTube decided to, I guess, penalize me for being such a bad man. Right? That's awesome, Dragon. Pastor McWadi, how you doing? JRC, good to see you. Homestead Jen. Yeah, right. Crafters Grimoire. What's up, Freaky Geek? Joe's Crayons. Hey, Grace. Hey, happy holidays to all you guys. Merry Christmas to every single one of you awesome people out there. All right, so let's dive into this topic, folks. And basically, it's a list that I kind of want to touch on a little bit because if things ever really go bad, because we're living in a situation unseen, it's unprecedented. I just watched before I even got on here, I call it the left-wing news channel of Florida, and they're pumping out fear in the aspect of there's going to be 40,000 a day cases and all this other stuff like that. So they're freaking everybody out. You got all the big wigs in Washington freaking everybody out, and who knows? It was this kind of resounded with me a bit. Really? Thanks, Duke. And I look for those. I look for comments that are not in my comment section, and I only find a couple of them. Usually they're if they have a swear word or something in there or a link or a hashtag, sometimes they'll remove those and I'll fix them, but I haven't seen them. What's up, Sin99? Interesting, Pastor McQuaddy. You filthy animals. Love it. Yeah, right, Shift Engineering. Aaron Q, what is up? So, so basically this is a list of about 28 different things. And it's the honest reality if things were to end as we know it. If things were to ever go full on crap hits the fan. SHTF, right? Agreed, Empress Kimberly. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Understandable. It's hard to migraines. Hopefully my voice doesn't make it worse. But so let's really dive into the nitty-gritty. Let's dive into the inconvenient truths about a shift scenario or the end of the world as we know it. And it could mean like I saw a tweet by how do we want to call him? Well, you guys know who created Microsoft, right? So he tweeted out that he's canceling all his plans, which is a little scary. And the way I look at it is like, because he's one of those guys that like to promote fear. And of course, everything associated with that gentleman. What's that, Wendy Neal? Sorry, I just wanted to see something real quick. Anyways, so let's dive into this. I keep on saying that, and I keep on getting sidetracked by reading what you guys are saying in chat. That's awesome. I'm a survivor. Yeah, right, Deborah. It's a good question. Good question. All right, so here's the God honest truth. And what I mean by that is if things ever go really south, not everyone's going to survive, unfortunately. A lot of folks will lose their lives. Hopefully, folks in the preparedness community are going to be a little bit more prepared than others. But unfortunately, that is the bottom line. Whatever that situation turns out to be, whatever happens that makes us, go into this situation, a lot of folks will lose their lives, which is truly heartbreaking because it might be people you know. A lot of people say if things go really south, 70% of the population will be gone. So that's what, 1 in 3? So if you have 5 family members, one of those folks are gone, or 3 family members, but you guys are going to get what I'm saying. Hopefully, by being in this community and learning from each other in the preparedness community, a lot of us folks will have a better chance. And it's also, here's a key component to this. And I'm making sure I'm trying to stay on topic here. Circumstances. Your circumstances will trump your preparedness. And I know that's something hard to digest. And I don't want to scare folks that have really bad circumstances, specifically folks that are handicapped and they cannot leave their home in a city, in a small apartment surrounded by violence. See how I'm kind of like compounding that? It's a scary fact. A lot of folks, I get a lot of emails, folks saying, hey, I'm in an apartment. What can I do? And you can do certain things to, how do I say, make it better for yourself. But if you're in a big city, if you're in a major city like New York City right now, if you look at what's happening in New York City, New York City is going off the rails. And what I mean by that is if you guys haven't seen what's going on between the mandates that are being pushed there, as well as the fines, as well as possibly being jailed for not following the mandates, or just having, if you're just a risk to, as the governor puts it, if you're just a risk to public health, you can be jailed. Where does that sound like? That does not sound like America, right, folks? And then Mayor Lori Lightfoot is following suit. California is following suit. So you see where it's going. That's awesome, Barbara. I'd rather not have some of the daily things that I have in life, like a clock or calendars and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I have to maintain a lot more than I expect to. You see, make a sign for your door. In fact, yeah, right, Diabetic Prepper, great idea. Put a big hazard sign on your door. That's actually a good one, Diabetic Prepper. I never thought about that. Try to make you less as a target as possible. And we've talked about things like this. If things ever go really, if there's a power outage, but you have a generator, you probably don't want to be the house on the street that's all lit up like a Christmas tree, right? Just saying. And another part of this is preparedness. Being prepared will cost money. It will. It's not cheap. Some of it is. That's why we talk about budgeting. That's why we have live streams on ways to save money on food preps, deals that we can come across and we share it amongst the community, be it here on YouTube or Discord or whatever platform that we're on. Matter of fact, I'm slowly building my presence on Getter. I don't know how many of you folks are on there. I just saw the Urban Prepper was on there, so I followed him. Yeah, right, Terry? Oh, man. But there's no way around it, folks. There's no way around it. Preparedness costs money. All you can do to circumvent that is to, if you have a specific budget, to put some money to the side and get the things that you need. And we've talked about different ways of budgeting and stuff like that, but we're going to try to run through this list, because that's why I kind of didn't want to. On Thursday, the first probably 15, 20 minutes is going to be me doing a show and tell of a lot of things that I've received in the mail, from gifts to Christmas cards to postcards. So I'm going to save that for Thursday's stream, and I'm just kind of hitting this list and going through it. Dragon Slayer, I agree. It can be very extremely expensive. Think about this. The gas mask that I have, right? The gas mask that I own and the filters that come with it, roughly about $400 or $500. How many folks out there can take $400 or $500 out there for, let's say you have a family of 4, and spend $2,000 on gas masks? And then here's the worst part about it. Someone may do that, and they don't know how to use them or get the proper filters or how to fit that mask. So they have $2,000 wrapped up into a prep that they may be unfamiliar with and don't have the education to use it properly. And if something bad was to happen, they still lose their lives. Scary thought. Scary thought. Even with my beard here, even with this little beard, that's why I don't have the big, huge beard. I had one years ago. One of these days, I'll show you guys a picture. I had the big old long beard, but when it comes to a gas mask, even this much hair, I might not get a good seal. So depending on what the situation entails, the thing is to have a shaver and just shave it off really quickly. Beards are cool. Trust me. I love having some sort of facial hair. Yeah, right? Minuteman 69? Sure. I wish I had the financial stability to do something like that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Carol Dodson, you're absolutely right. What's up, Arleth? How you doing? All right. Where are we at? Here's the funny part is whenever you talk preparedness, some folks will ridicule you. They will make fun of you. They will call you crazy. I think that's funny, because those are the folks that are probably going to, those are the folks that are probably going to be, I don't want to say die first, but that's the horrific truth, to be honest with you. Anyways, a lot of folks I tell, if you can, what's up, Thorhaven Farm? I'm doing great. Thank you. If you can, you want to keep, other than being in this community, of course, you kind of want to kind of keep things under hush. You want to let people, if you're trying to, let's say family members and stuff like that, you might want to tell them a little bit here and there and try to get them on the same page. But it's not something that you go to the highest peak of the mountain and scream out, I'm a prepper. I'm a prepper. I have thousands and thousands of dollars of food coming to my house. This is where I live. That's the last thing you want to do. I know I'm being a little bit, what's it called? Overkill with it, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's the last thing that you want to do. You want to have conversations and speak to the folks about preparedness, but you never want to let on too much. Yeah, you're like, hey, I got a couple weeks worth of food. That's about it. Especially if you don't know or trust these people. It's a very fine line, because even sometimes family members could be one of those people that would put a drain on what you have for your family. So it's just things to think about. It's a really horrible situation if things ever get. I appreciate that Second Amendment. We're almost there. 4 more thumbs up and we'll be at 100. What's up, Hig Homestead? Good to see you. The Joe Info, good to see you. OPSEC, yeah, OPSEC. Operational security, huge. Thank you, Angela. Overly dramatic. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Here is another inconvenient truth, per se, since we're on this here, right? Some people think the more rural you are, you're safe. You're 100% safe. You're out in a rural area, you're safe. It's a double-edged sword, folks. What I call the proverbial zombie is the people, the city dwellers. Once they rob, pillage, steal, rape, kill, burn down everything in the city, they will come out in droves. They will come out in droves. They will be tired, exhausted. They will be armed. Whatever it's going to be bad. And I hope I'm not trying to scare folks right before Christmas, but this is just a topic that I felt that we needed to discuss. But that's what I call the proverbial zombie. So when we think of a zombie apocalypse, I don't think the undead. I think it's going to be the marauders, the people that are going to do things that they never expected themselves to do, people that are leaving the cities and heading to the rural areas. people that are going to be trying to feed their kids, feed their family, and they're going to be doing things that they normally wouldn't do. God-fearing, loving people will do things when put in a situation that they would normally not do, especially when they look and see someone close to them that they love is starving to death. And we've talked about that. Starving to death is not the way you want to go. It is very horrific. If you've seen videos and pictures of countries where you've seen this happen and the children that are going through it, it's a very horrific and unfortunate event. I would think a compound is more attractive than a city or home. And Phoenix, I'm glad you said that, Phoenix, because yes, if you tell somebody, let's say you tell somebody, hey, we have a compound of preppers. We're a compound of preppers, and we're going to name it the Citadel. You know what I mean? Something flashy and catchy. People, that's going to stick with someone's head. And they're like, hey, I know a place. And then I know what you're thinking. A lot of folks out there are probably thinking this, well, we are heavily armed to the teeth. We know what we're doing. Possibly. But there's always that possibility, as you've seen in every apocalyptic movie, even with the undead, folks, even with the undead, the zombies always find a way through because it's all about numbers. Let's say there's 20 of you on a compound and there's 3,000 to 5,000 people that are moving through your area who are starving, who have firearms, who have possible training, who are desperate. You can be overrun. It happens. Happens in the Army. It happens if you anybody who's been deployed in the U.S. in any form of in the military, you've probably seen positions that get overrun. You might be the most elite of the bunch, but things happen. The numbers game, and you can be overrun. And I put a little side note. Yeah, the government may have you in their crosshairs. You never know. The blue hats, as they say. Yeah, agree, Dragon. Matter of fact, I've always thought about this. I don't know if it would work 100%, but if I had a piece of land and I had my property and things went really, really south, if I had a fallback location on that property and give the people a false sense of security that they got lucky, they found a few cans of foods, but they're not going to check some sort of like broken down, no power, no water, no nothing, a little location. They're going to focus on the shiny object. You know what I mean? So I've always thought about making like if I live in this great house per se, right? If I live in a beautiful home, things go south and I see these people from a distance, because that's a key thing is communications and seeing something coming before it's at your doorstep, which is huge. But if you have a fallback location where a lot of your stuff, it might be stored or hidden, where normally folks would not think of looking. It's all you can do is you can only make assumptions and try to do the best you can to protect what's yours. Nancy, you're absolutely right. What's up, Gene W? Good to hear from you. Shiny and pretty, right, Fat Man? Exactly. Has anybody else ever thought about this? A lot of us will preach minimum a year of food, minimum of 1 year of food. Sounds great, right? What if it goes longer? What about if your stored foods run out? What about if all your freeze-dried foods run out? Your canned foods run out? What do we do then? Unless you're a very proficient gardener, which we're going to touch on as well, you might be in a situation. Some people say, well, I'm going to hunt for my food. So is everybody else. We've always referred back to the Great Depression, where they basically almost, and the animals that they were hunting, small game and all kinds of stuff, became almost non-existent because they were hunted out of, not extinction, but they were hunted till there was nothing left in that area. Awilda, yes, buy seeds. Having a great seed vault is pretty important, and which is a start. If you're going to buy seeds and store seeds, you might want to grab a book about gardening. You want to grab a book on irrigation, learning those plants, learning what zone you're in. There's a lot more goes to it than, hey, I'm a gardener. You know what I mean? I've learned a lot this year. Matter of fact, I was talking to, oh man, you're in chat somewhere too. Shift Engineering. We had some nasty winds this morning. Snapped a couple of my branches off my tomato plants. So I lost a couple fruit, not a lot. still lost some, but sometimes it's been nasty. It's been raining a lot lately. Some plants don't like too much rain. If you get too much rain on your tomatoes, sometimes you get splitting. Or if what's the other word? You can get I know I'm gonna go blank here, but it's not blight. But you guys get what I'm saying. Things happen with too much rain or too little rain. It's like there's always a pro and a con to everything. Too much rain or too little rain. I guess if you have a good, I don't know. I'm trying to think of myself like a way around that. But even if you have a greenhouse and a storm comes through, if you saw what happened in Kentucky, there's some things that are unpreventable. Here in Florida, we have do have tornadoes, but we also have hurricanes that can be very powerful, and the winds can be very damaging. And most greenhouses can't stand up to something that powerful unless you make it out of concrete and cement it in with rebar, which I'm sure some folks are. There's going to be always that one person that goes above and beyond when it comes to something like that. But they have to have the finances to do so. Personally, if I was not I don't want to say elitist, but I want to say if I was well off financially, if I had millions in the bank, right, I would have the opportunity to build the most strongest possible place that I could take my family to. Or what was that one guy? I read a story where a guy has a little house, and underneath it, he literally has like an entire missile silo with a secret entrance. But I personally probably will never ever be able to afford something like that unless I think it was on Magic Prepper's live stream. I said, unless I won the Powerball, which would be hilarious, right? Moving on to number 7. And remember, there's 28 of these, right? It says, even the best prepared survivalist, for example, a Navy SEAL, can be brought down by an infected ingrown toenail. I know that sounds crazy, but I've literally done a video on foot health. And when I first started this channel, and some people kind of like, you did a video about feet? And I'm like, yes, I did a video about feet because your feet are super important. A lot of people don't grasp that concept unless you've been in the Army or some branch of the military where they teach you that foot health is huge. Just imagine if you get an infection and it's untreatable because you can't go to the doctors or you don't have the medications to resolve that issue, and then it spreads. It's simple, and that's a huge thing. Simple things that we can fix now in a life-changing event won't be so simple. It'll be the small things that kill you. You win the Powerball and have to change your name to GreyMan Prepping. That's awesome, Fat Man. Oh, man. I like how you can bring a little bit of laughter and stuff like that because we need that. I hope that people aren't thinking in their heads that I'm trying to promote any, the fear thing. It's just more informative of things to kind of like think about. Because, and matter of fact, that's why I linked this list, or where I found this list at, or the only place I could find it at, because there was a website called theprepperproject.com, which is gone now. That's where it originally was, where Todd had wrote it on his blog post, but I couldn't find it there. So I found it on this, and I figured I'd at least link it down below so you guys can follow suit with it down the road. I like number 8. This is kind of funny. What's up, Miguel Boricua? Good to see you. Keep your feet dry is the biggest thing. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, exactly, Frank. Bringer Change says the true man doesn't drastically affect a person. Good luck on walking on an infected toe or trying to focus on anything that the mind boggling. Yeah, exactly. My teeth are in the jar. In a jar. That's funny, Minute Man. Roger that, Dragon Slayer. What's up, Roaming Prepper? How you doing? But it says number 8 says you probably aren't tough enough for what's coming. I attribute that to mental preparedness. Baby powder, yes. Duct tape. There's a lot of things. Like I said, you can check out that video. That's disgusting, Freaky Geek. Mental preparedness, man. That's what I'm equating number 2. Number 8 says you probably aren't tough enough for what is coming. Because a lot of us prepare, but to be in that true... Just imagine putting I don't know, some of you guys have suffered in your lives. I'll be honest with you. I've been homeless at one point in my life, even as a younger adult, slept on benches, borderline starving, lived in some of the worst neighborhoods around. Before I got smart, I lived in places like New York City, Detroit, Miami, and other nasty places. I even lived in Chicago for 3 months on the South Side, and it gave me a newfound feeling for not wanting to live in the city as I saw things evolve into what they are. I would say several times I came close to losing my life because I'm a pretty, alpha male. So when I get around those situations, I'm not one to back down easily, I guess you can say. So I got put into certain situations that possibly could have lost my life in. And luckily, my mother at the time was very smart and she saved me from that city. Yeah, right, Batman? What do you guys? You guys are, I'm trying to see here. You guys, hey, Sherry. Oh, man. All right. Number 9, I may not agree with too much, but I'm going to say it because might as well be transparent because like I said, I have this list linked below. It says gold and silver may be useless if a world currency is established. Using them may be even criminalized. So me being who I am, someone who stacks silver or precious metals in general, I try to look at this and why that was on this list. And then I thought to myself, I'm reading a book, and I think it's called Patriot. It's a book about the collapse of the economy and the crash. They call it the crunch of the stock market, and a new government trying to take power. And yeah, they will try to do things like possibly outlaw certain things like that by using a form of silver. And if you don't use their new currency, but no matter what, I'm still going to stack silver. That's how I look at it. But I wanted to say it because it's on the list. Really crazy. Just imagine that if it was criminalized for you to use precious metals to purchase goods for you and your family. But I wouldn't put anything past, at one point in my life, I would have said this would never happen. But look where we're at now. Look at what's going on in some of the cities. It's like the Constitution has been thrown out the window. They don't care. I appreciate that, KT. It's a scary thought, folks. It's a scary thought. Now, here's where I find this holds true here. Exactly, Dragon. I hear you, Potato Head. I like your little icon there. JT, you're absolutely right. They don't care. I love canned ham and Slim Jims. Oh, Carol Dodson. 1 ounce silver for 1 ounce booze. Right on, Batman. All right, so where are we at? Number 10. In time of plenty, it's impossible to imagine the reality of true scarcity. Those words resounded with me. What's up, Prepper Book Club? How you doing? And let me repeat that one. In time of plenty, it's impossible to imagine the reality of true scarcity. Because people are so consumed by society and what it is today, and the aspect that I asked a couple of friends, acquaintances, people that come into the place of business. I always like to use that for a reference because I'm always asking questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. And I asked them, I said, how much food do you have at your house? Because we were talking about the supply chain. And I said, how much food do you have in your house? And they said, honestly, we probably have a day's worth of food. A lot of leftovers maybe, but they really don't have any food. And they said that they had no non-perishables. Everything that they had in their home right now was perishable. Some fresh fruits, stuff like that. So if something was to happen the next day and everything was lost and they didn't have access, to a grocery store, if everything just went kaput, those folks, that couple, would die. I mean, not necessarily saying that it would happen immediately, but they would struggle. And what would they do? And this was two girls that I know, and they're great people, but they're unprepared. They're unprepared. And I'm trying to get them prepared. I'm trying to get them to think. I'm trying to get them to think beyond going to the store every couple of days to get some food. Have something put up. Have something to the side. Anything. At least give yourself a chance, right? At least give yourself a chance. The one girl said, well, she guess, I guess that'll be the end of me. And I said, you shouldn't think that way. Don't you want to live for your significant other? Don't you want to live if you have children? Some people, but unfortunately, some people will give up. Some people will give up because they are not used to struggling. They are not used to being without. They're used to the niceties of going to the store and getting food, going to a fast food joint or restaurant and stuffing themselves beyond belief. Gluttony, man, huge. The United States is full of gluttonous folks, myself included. I've experienced that, and I'm getting better at that. I've learned that's not the way to go. Healthy eating, trying to, I'm going to share some things with you guys here moving into January, but that's the way to go. I'm going to revamp everything that I've been doing physically, what I consume in my health in regards to my physicality and physical training, because I'm worried that if things were to happen tomorrow, that I wouldn't be in the position that I need to be in. Have you guys ever been in the garden, let's say putting some seeds in or, messing with the dirt, and you get up and your back hurts, your knees hurt, everything hurts because at the age you're at, things are not as pliable as they were when you were 18, 19, 20. That's where I feel I'm like, I need to do more to put my body into better shape, because some certain things that I do should not hurt, regardless of how old I am. So I need to reassess myself and lead by example for others. What's up, Green Thumb Prepper? Good to see you. Aaron Goodman, exactly. All right. Number 11 made me laugh because we've heard this across the prepper community. We've heard this term. Survival is easy for the armchair quarterbacks. I love it. I love it. But it's true. A lot of us can sit behind the screen here and preach everything. I can sit here and talk to, I'm blue in the face. But if I don't lead by example, if I don't practice what I preach, if I don't walk the walk, then who am I? Other than a talking head on a screen telling you to do something and I'm not doing it. But luckily, there's enough content on my channel so that you guys know that I am doing the things. And of course, we're going to be doing more. But they're out there and it is what it is. That's their choice. All right. Number 12. What's up, Stewart's Prepping? Most survivalists and preppers are overly optimistic when it comes to how much food to store, what scenarios to plan for, and their ability to survive off the grid. Some idiots are too busy watching. Right. Agreed, Miguel. Because I understand, and like I said, this list is not really it's an informative list to the aspect of that made me think about a lot of things, and that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I was like, it made me question myself. But where it says is how much food to store, what scenarios to plan for, and the ability to survive off grid. Because how much food do you need, right? 2 weeks, 3 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years? How much do you need? And can you afford it? Another big thing, but there's some folks out there who have been prepping for decades. And they were smart to start then than to start now. But I don't want to, I don't want to discourage anyone from starting, if you're new to prepping, to stop. Because once you've found yourself in this community, it's go, go, go. You know what I mean? You want to do everything you possibly can. And don't be discouraged, because if you're discouraged and you give up, you're just giving in. And that's the last thing that you want to do. I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest with you folks. In the year that I've been here on YouTube, a couple of times I've contemplated, I'm like, man, I'm stressed. I don't want to do YouTube. And the wife says, no, you've built a community. They depend on you. Who cares what anybody says? Who cares what YouTube does to you? She says, you have built something amongst some folks that depend on you, some folks that just to interact with you, you help them by spreading certain types of content that you do, you help them. So she is a great crutch. Is it a crutch? Is that how I don't want to use it? Not a crutch. She's a great, how do I want to say that? Anyways, she keeps me going. Simply put, she keeps me going. Because sometimes even myself, someone who's been through so much can still get overwhelmed. And I'll get frustrated because I'll try to do something and it doesn't work out. Like make a video that's 40 minutes long and then have no audio and then throw my hands up and be like, well, that was a waste of time and I don't have enough time to do it again. And then I feel bad. What's up, Deacon Prepper? Tia Marie, I appreciate that. Empress Kimberly, thank you. Yeah, Motivator, that's a good one too. What's up, Seabass? Hawkeye? A lot of you guys are in here, man. How many people are in chat? 187 watching me. Holy cow. I appreciate every single one of you folks here. What's up? Christ is the answer. How you doing? Chris's Clever Craft. Hello. A lot of great people in here tonight. Truly appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And Little Lone Prepper, she's your cheerleader. I like that. Thank you. She is. She is an awesome person. She helps keep me going. But also, I'll be honest with you. You folks, the letters that I've been reading, the things that you guys send, the thought that you put into it really touches me. It makes me feel awesome. Just the little things that you guys say. I get a postcard that says, Grey, thank you for everything that you do. You've really helped us. That means a lot. It means a lot more than just words that I'm reading. It really touches my heart. And not to get all sentimental with you guys, but I'm being 100% honest and transparent that those things mean a lot. Some of the things, and which I'll share on Thursday night's live stream, I'm going to share some of the things that some of you folks made for little Miss Grey, my daughter. I was just absolutely floored. Like, these things are just so sentimental, and you guys took the time to do this. It's awesome. Awesome. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. All right. We're probably never going to get through this listen time. I don't know. How long have I been streaming for? 43 minutes. Oh, wow. I'm trying to keep this under about an hour, but anyways, number 13. Unlucky number 13. What's up, D14? Hey, my mead should be ready by New Year's Eve or my birthday. That's awesome. I appreciate that, Seabass. Thank you so much. Like I said, you guys are awesome. You guys keep me going 100%, along with Mrs. Grey. All right. It says number 13, the end of the world as we know it, or I can never say the acronym by itself, but it says, will change the way you and your children and grandchildren live forever. And I agree with that, because if anything ever really bad happens, really changes the face of the world that we live in, which if we wake up every day, it seems like it's moving that direction. Did you see what they put out the other day? I hate calling them the left, but it is what it is, right? But they put out this material that they expect this huge, I'm not going to say the word, but they expect something to happen in 2024. And it's not a good thing in the aspect of, and maybe it is, who knows? I don't know what to expect anymore. Some of the stuff I read just blows my mind, the material that gets put out there, but it gets people hyped up, and maybe that's the idea behind it. That's a little bit cryptic, but maybe you guys will pick up on that. All right. Moving on to number 14. What's that, B Walker? Always bulk on selective items. Right on, Vanta. The minute you bug out, your chance of reaching your retreat destination are slim. Some people won't agree with that one, right? But bugging out is probably one of the last things that you want to do. Of course, a lot, it's good to have, I preach bug out bags, get home bags, EDC bags. I preach all that for sure. 100%. Because if anything ever goes south, you need to have something to survive with, and it's better to have than not to have. Correct. But if you live in a city, or certain areas, like I've learned from the past here in Florida, they have an evacuation route here in Florida when the hurricanes come. I've never left for one, but I've watched on the news. I've watched and heard horror stories how the highways are just jam-packed. And then other folks will think, well, I'm going to take the back roads. They're packed. So unless you can walk 50 miles or wherever your fallback location is with your gear on your back, you're taking a heavy risk. So unless you're physically fit enough to carry whatever weight on your back, your firearms, and everything that you plan on taking with you to this location, something to think about. Now, another way to look at it is if you have that location and your bug out bag only has the essentials, if you can, I would say practice going from point A to point B, or and a couple other different scenarios in case that what's the word I'm looking for? That path is blocked. Find multiple ways to it. But if you have everything already at the bug out location, all right, and then you can pack lighter and have some caches along the way, then you increased your survivability. At least that's how I feel. And this is from my perspective. Everything is open to interpretation. I don't want to say I'm right about everything. These are just the way I look at things and my assumptions on how I would do it. All right. And moving on to number, and I think this one's funny. It says, you're kidding yourself if you think your hidden caches won't be found by others eventually. Possibly. And it's the inconvenient truths. Someone may find it. Maybe you think you hit it well enough. I've come across things that I've questioned on my hikes, and I don't touch them because I respect that. But in a scenario, a lot of folks won't respect that. If they're hunting for food and they're in the woods and they come across this hidden storage of food and they're starving, what do you think those folks would do? So hopefully you're not depending on that. I don't know. It's a scary thought. And I wanted to throw that in there because I just mentioned caches. Because you can only hope that if you make a cache on your way to your bug out location, it's there when you need it. But like I said, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Maybe you told someone about it. And they got themselves into a situation. So they raided your cache. And then when you need it, it's not there. Something to think about, right? All right. Number 16, it says, you won't know if you're ready for the end of the world as you know it until you're in the middle of it. True. Most folks, we can prepare. We can think that we're ready. But when the balloon goes up, as they like to say, and everything is chaotic, then you really know if you're prepared enough. Right on, Shift Engineering. Sorry, I'm just jumping in here. Off the wall prepper, good to see you. Interesting, Barbara. And that goes to say, if you understand your environment, and what I mean by that is foraging, wild edibles, wild medicinals. If your cache gets raided, but you know the land and you know the plants, and you're very familiar with those plants, that might be able to sustain you possibly enough moving forward. Also, a resource of like water, a lake, a stream, and having ways to filter it, to purify it. All right. Moving on to number 17. What's up, Kaylin Strain? How you doing? Right on. And like I said, if you guys want to look at this list and see what I'm reading off of, it's down below in the description. I gave credit to the person that came up with this list, but I found it interesting and I wanted to share with you folks. I'd like to reiterate that. Where I'm at, number 17. Ultimately, a too powerful government will be the biggest threat to your survival. Agree 100%. Just imagine, if you see what's going on in other countries, let's say like China, Russia, and other places, a very, very powerful government, an entity, can be a biggest threat to your survival. And it makes me think of what's going on in our country. Because, again, it's we the people, right? I think too much government is what's going on right now. This is my opinion, but supposedly, I appreciate that, Aaron, but supposedly, it's supposed to be we the people. If we look at our Constitution, it's supposed to be for us. Now, from my understanding, and now I might interpret this a little bit wrong, but, we have certain parts of the Constitution. I wish I could remember how I wanted to say this, but there's police for a reason, the military for a reason, to protect us from things abroad, the police to help us with things like to protect us from criminals and stuff like that. Some of you guys may know where I'm going with this, and a judiciary system, laws to protect our lands and contracts and all that stuff like that. And this is just brief what I'm talking about, but I think at this point, it seems like even at the state level, they're wielding too much power. But then everybody asks, well, what do we do, Grey? And unfortunately, I can't answer that question, because if I was to tell folks you should rise up and you should do this and stuff like that and be a revolutionary, I would not want to send a bunch of people basically to their demise. If we ever think about it, how powerful the governments have become, and I know people are going to say, well, we outnumber them. But just think about the weaponry that these folks wield. It's a scary thought. I've tried to run scenarios in my head, and the only thing I can think of is to make myself as gray as possible and do the best I can to provide for me and my family in the middle of nowhere, and just be missed. I'd be missed in the aspect of that no one would care where I'm at. I'm just some guy out in the middle of the woods, But could I survive? Could my family survive? We would do the best we could. But do you just want to survive? Or as I like to say, or do you want to thrive? You know what I mean? Who knows? These are just hypotheticals, folks. I don't want you to, be the doom and gloom guy, but these are hypotheticals. Fat Man Prepper, I understand that. Yes, we have the power to change things legally, such as Convention of States. There's a lot of things in the Constitution, but have you seen some of the things that's being passed in certain states? Like I'm really glad to be in Florida. I'll be 100% honest with you. And the political realm of things here in Florida, we have a governor that's pretty much working for the people, and kind of anything that comes out of the federal government, he's pushing back on. And it's good to see that, because that's, to me, is the huge part of it, is the states. We're a republic of states, and the states themselves, the people that we put in power, need to lead this charge when it comes to making big changes. And like I said, look at the laws in certain states. Let's specifically talk about the Second Amendment. If we look at the Second Amendment, look how it's treated in California and in New York, but then look how it's treated in, let's say, Missouri, Texas, or Florida. So depending on what state you're in, things may work out better for you. I always say that. And some people, I truly feel bad for folks who are stuck in a big city in a blue state, because it seems like there's always something negative going on there, be it crime, be it mandates, be it lockdowns and shutdowns, and so on and so forth. Off the wall prepper. Yes, I understand that the states are handing down the mandates. Like I said, and that's what I was referring to, is depending on what state you live in. The state of California is removed pretty much all the rights from their citizens. It seems like they don't care. They're stripping them away. But then you're in Florida. When people visit Florida, it's crazy to see how they're like, man, this is crazy. You guys don't have to wear face coverings. You guys aren't forced to do this. You guys don't have to do that. And I talked to my daughter about this a lot, because when she looks, she's like, hey, Dad, do I have to wear a mask in this place? And I said, I always say, we're in Florida. You don't have to do it. You don't have to wear it. Because she sees other people. She sees the sheep, all masked up. So she's like, she feels that, she doesn't want to look different. So she wants to try to blend in. And when she's with me, it's hard to blend in because I'm like, I'm not wearing nothing. And if anything ever happens to me, I made the choice not to wear it. I made the choice not to do this. If anything ever happens to me, it's my choice. It's that simple. Exactly, pure blood. Exactly. All right, man. I'm getting way off topic here. Let me see here. Yeah, number. I'm going to skip through a couple of these. Number 19. I probably skipped a couple of them. Free time will become a thing of the past, for sure. Fat man. You're hilarious, man. Thank you, Redneck Prepper. That I do. I wear camo caps. I'm always looking like I'm some off-grid person. I got, the type of gear that I wear. I always have a knife on my hip. I'm not as gray as I need to be, right? But going gray all depends on where you live, because here in my area of Florida, I look like most of the other people that live here, who wear camouflage, who wear hunting gear, who have a knife on their hip. So I blend in with those folks. The other folks are the ones that stick out like a sore thumb, because I can pick out someone who's not from where they're supposed to be, or not from where I live. They're from somewhere else. I can pick them out like that. I'm like, yep, they don't live here. That person's not from here. I think those are from New York, and that person's from California. It's like I literally can see them because of how they carry themselves and how they act. Exactly, Hawkeye. Tia Marie, I like that. Crocs and camo. Yeah, that is commonplace. That is commonplace here. Oh, man. That is commonplace here. And that's the thing. I'm so gray. I'm white, right? Prepping preacher. Hey, Montana Sky. Let me see. Montana Sky says, Bear Independent said it's best. Make yourself as independent as possible from this broken system. You can thrive when you're not dependent on the system. I agree with that statement. That's one thing. I believe in that. You need to be as independent from the system as possible. You need to be as self-sufficient as possible. And have you seen, they've tried to manipulate the word of self-sufficiency to make it a bad thing. I've watched documentaries and stuff where they're trying to say self-sufficiency. Project, what was it? Who was it? Vice News or Vice, whatever that program on their YouTube channel tried to make it seem like self-sufficiency was a bad thing. I was like, what is this garbage? What is this garbage? Shocked. I was very shocked. All right. Where are we at, folks? Number 20. There's nothing wrong with prepping or preparing for natural disasters, but if you're not ready for the collapse of the American economy, you're not ready. So agreed. I prep for natural disasters, but my preps go beyond that. Because to me, the biggest, I'll be honest with you, if I was on that show Doomsday Prepper, right? If I was ever approached and made that decision, which I would not want that. I wouldn't want to be famous like that and tore apart per se in the media's eyes. But if I was on the Doomsday, my thing is economic collapse. I truly believe sooner or later in this country, economic collapse is on the horizon somewhere. And people are like, no, there's no way the US dollar could ever collapse. They won't let it. Well, who are they? You talking about the elites, the bigwigs? Dobby Farr, I appreciate that. Thanks. Welcome to the Grey family. I truly appreciate the support, brother. But to me, that's one of the more scarier facts. Outside of stuff like EMPs and, of course, like, let's say, and more so solar flares, because the sun, you can't predict what the sun's going to do, right? The sun can be very active at times and things can happen. Like we've talked about the Carrington event in the past. Just imagine something on the scale like that happening nowadays. Matter of fact, we're going to have a discussion that here in January with a good friend of mine. I call him a friend. Hint, hint. All right, where are we at, folks? And this one holds true as well. Number 21, growing through, whoops, am I getting lost here? Yeah. Coming tough times. I don't understand that one. I don't think they wrote that right. Anyways, it says tough times will threaten even the best marriages and other close relationships. When you are stressed beyond all, like just think about your life. When have you been the most stressed, right? Some people don't have that mesh with their partner or other family members, and being overly stressed in a situation like a shift event or the end of the world event, however you want to look at it, will fracture that relationship and those bonds if they're not already strong enough. I don't know how many times, let's say something happens and you get frustrated, because this happens to me. Lady Gray thinks it's funny because I really don't take my anger out on people. I take my anger out on inanimate objects. Let's say if I'm doing something, building something, and it doesn't go the way I want it to. Sometimes I will get out of hand, lose my temper, and break something, which is not the best thing to do, because in a shift scenario, you probably need that thing that you're breaking. So anyways, back to what I was saying is, if you are married or you have these relationships with someone, you need to make sure that they are way beyond stronger than they are now. Because when you compound it with stress and surviving, the last thing you want to do is to have it all fall apart. And it just, I've seen less things in people's lives tear apart relationships. So I can only imagine if these things if things were to come to light, something bad was to happen, how many relationships and marriages would be destroyed due to the compounding stress of that scenario of survival. All right, where are we at? Number 22. Growing your own food is a bigger challenge than you ever thought possible. I agree 100%. And what I mean by this is, just imagine if you've never grown food before and you are thrown into a scenario where you have to grow your own food and you are unfamiliar with growing or gardening, however you want to look at it. It can be really rough and frustrating because there is a learning curve. You can't just throw seeds and pour water on and expect it to grow. Some will, don't get me wrong. Some things will grow no matter what. But to maintain and to grow food and to make it bountiful enough, you need to have a little know-how of what you're doing and to become the best possible at it. Because different foods grow differently, different nutrients they need, different minerals they need, different watering schedules, different bugs attack them. It just goes, the list goes on and on. And I'm just going off the things that I've learned this year in regards to gardening. Prepping Preacher says learning curve and soil building. Agreed. What's up, Five Virgins? How you doing? Saw you pass on by there. Oh, where he's at. But yes, it can be an extreme challenge. So here's the best advice I can give anyone. If you're trying to learn something new that comes to preparedness, like gardening or canning or dehydrating, and the list goes on, do it while the world is intact. Do it while you can. Worst case scenario, you learn a bunch of great, awesome skills. You live out your life, and maybe you pass these skills down to your children or someone else, right? If nothing ever happens in your life, if the world stays intact, nothing crazy ever happens, you've learned some really cool skills, and hopefully you pass those down to the generations below you. You pass on, and when you pass on, you can feel good that you left a legacy to those folks of something that's been lost for generations. I'm telling you, there's a lot of kids out there that don't know how to fish, that don't know how to grow, don't know how to cook. All they know how to do is play with the computer and stare at a phone. When you ask them to do anything else, they're confused. Hey, I need you to go grab me a 3/8 wrench. Or, hey, can you grab me this type of hammer? And they're lost. They have no clue. So That's my thought on that. Kaylin Strain says, include in that seed or planting bartering. I can't have trees on my deck, but can trade my fruit tree seeds. Yeah, bartering is going to be huge. What's up, OFC Nation? Good to see you. Not mechanical at all. Yes, exactly. We are a land of consumers. Right, KT? Ask someone, hey, what's fish? And they're like, what do you mean fish? The stuff that you buy at the grocery store? I was talking to my daughter today, and I'm going on a sidetrack, and we've been already we're a little over an hour. I do apologize. We're going a little over. My apologies. But I told her, I said that they want her to eat plant-based and bug proteins. They don't want her to eat meat. And she's like, what are you talking about, Dad? What do you mean don't eat meat? And she logically came to me and said, well, Dad, it's called the circle of life. And she started explaining to me certain things outside of what we were talking about. She's like, it's a circle of life. She says, how can it be bad for us to eat meat if animals eat meat? And that's how they survive. She says, there's no way that I want to eat bugs. She said, there's no way I just want to eat plants. She says, wouldn't you not have enough iron in your food and all that stuff like that? I said, yes, sweetheart. I said, basically, they want you to eat these plant-based diet and insect-based diet, and they want to add a bunch of preservatives and other stuff in there, and that's what they want to feed you. And she says, no way. And I'm like, that's what the folks are preaching. And she didn't understand it. And luckily she was smart enough, and we had an intelligent conversation, which was awesome. What's up, Frontier Prepper? What's up, Billy and D? Good to see you. All right, moving on. I need to stay on track. I only got a few more to go. Where are we at? 23. Depending on where you live and any drought conditions, a green garden can be spotted from miles away, thus endangering your food source and your family. I thought that was quite intriguing because let's say you're on the cusp. You're in a very dry, desolate area, but you were smart and you thought ahead, and you have a water source. You have a way to keep your garden growing. And it's a very desolate, dry, brown area. And all of a sudden, people from a distance, just imagine how far with a pair of binoculars, you could see, if everything is brown, that you could spot this little green spot. So it holds true. It could make you a target. So knowing how to camouflage something like that to make it blend in would be huge. It's a good point. Where are we at? I keep on crossing my arms. I don't know what to do with my hands. All right, where am I at? Stay on track, Gray. All right, 24 is dealing with human waste and trash will become your new part-time job. You know, that's the job that you hate in the Army, is dealing with human waste. It's nasty. But it's something that you have to think about. Because it'll become, what do you do with your waste? If you're living off grid, if you're living off the land, if you're out somewhere and you don't have plumbing, because wherever you do this at, A, it could bring animals, B, it could taint your water supply. So just think about some of these things. What would you do with all the waste? Let's say a family of 4 that you produce, because we don't think about it, because we go to the bathroom, we go to the toilet, we flush it, and we forget about it. Out of mind, out of sight, right? But when things go sideways, right on, thanks, Prepping Preacher. That's great. It's hilarious. That's a good book, Miguel. But just ponder that. How much waste a day a person produces? What would you do with it? Do you know how to properly dispose of that waste so it doesn't get into, let's say, your water supply or even into your garden area? So, and it would have to be a distance away from where you're at. And also people, if people are walking or trampling through the woods or something like that, and they see this doesn't look right, this is human waste, where are these people at? And the list goes on. Humanure humanized the poop, right on, Little Red Hen. I agree. And I've seen read some articles on that, which is pretty intriguing. Sea bass, yes, a lot of people do burn it. But if you're trying to keep a low profile, that might not be the best option. Because when you go into survival mode and you're trying to, I guess, keep the smallest footprint possible so that people don't know where you're at and what you're doing, complicates things a little bit further. And knowing how to deal with that will become very important in that situation. All right, we got a few more to go, folks. Number 25, you'll discover exactly what you're capable of when your family is threatened. Let me repeat that one. Number 25, you'll discover exactly what you're capable of when your family is threatened. That's a huge one. You know, I have people tell me all the time, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could take someone's life. Even people that live a good life, a Christian life, you know, they follow the word, and then they're worried that if put in that situation, that they may not be able to take human life. It's the last thing that anybody wants to do. Last thing that anybody wants to do. But when you're in that situation and your family's threatened, your mindset will change. You'll do anything to protect your loved ones. You'll do anything to protect your children. Even now, in a situation, if someone was to break into your home, what would you do? What would you do to protect your family? To me, right on, prepping preacher, what would you do? It's a scary thought, but you'll be surprised. You'll be more capable of doing something than you think you will. I've seen things happen. I've seen soldiers and friends and talk to people that when it goes down, you can do more than you would think that you can do. And I'm probably repeating myself. What's up, Judy Maddow? Henderson? What's up, Smiling Wolf? Exactly. Anything. Whew. All right. Number 26. Formerly strong and capable people will escape their new reality through booze, drugs, and or suicide. A lot of people, they do it now. People do it now. People, they live a stressful life. The first thing they come home, and I'm not trying to alienate anybody, but people who deal with stress on a consistent basis, they come home, they drink their sorrows away. A lot of people that I've talked to in drug rehab facilities say they do it to make, I guess, the pain go away, which is whatever's happening in their life. So just imagine the world has been turned upside down. A lot of people would probably turn to these things to, I guess, step out of reality for a minute and go to fantasy land or something like that. I don't know. I myself, I'll be honest with you folks, I'm not a drinker. I don't do drugs. I guess I'm a straight edge. That's what you want to call me. I don't mind taking a sip here and there, but I'm not heavy into any of that. And I would never contemplate suicide. I have too much to live for because I want to see, I want to grow old with my wife. I want to watch my child build a family. I want to be a granddad. So to me, I have the will to live no matter what. So at least that's how I feel. That's in my mindset. I'm going to live as long as I possibly can to do whatever I can to protect my family and watch them grow and evolve in their life. But a lot of other folks won't be able to deal with it. Think about the millennials now that they don't get the participation trophy or the participation trophy, and they're sad because they don't understand that life is not what's being presented right now to people. Everybody doesn't get a trophy, folks. Everybody doesn't win. But that's what they're teaching the generation now. They're teaching all these children that everybody gets a trophy. It's ridiculous. And when they realize that life is not like that, they're depressed. They're filled with all kinds of sorrow and pain, and unfortunately, they do things that you would not think they would do. Right on, prepping preacher. Oh man, every time I look up at the what's up, Caribbean House? Every time I look up at the screen, I always catch something. Yeah, the participation trophy, man. It's a thing. Let me see. Adapt 2030 will answer the land that will grow crops in the future. That's a great channel. What's up, Tennessee Tactical? All right, let's stay on target. Stay on target, Gray. All right. Number 27. Protecting and nurturing close family ties will become one of the most important things you can do. Protecting and nurturing close family ties. To me, that's huge. When it comes to, I mean, I'll be 100% honest. We all have some good friends, but nothing, as they say, blood is thicker than water. And I've seen it play out that way. Now, some people may disagree, but I'm fine with that. But you need to nurture your relationships with these family members because when it becomes in a time of need, these relationships need to be solid. Even with your children, you need to nurture these relationships. How many folks go out there, they work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. They come home, they take a shower, they eat dinner, and they go to bed, and they don't really spend any time with their wife or husband or children or grandkids, whatever the case may be. So they're distant. So I think that's a huge thing. Spending as much possible time that you can nurturing these relationships will pay off when things are down. When things are at its worst, I think it'll be a lot more pertinent and key to having those relationships. Prepping Preacher says, the saying is, the blood of Christ is thicker than the water of birth. I appreciate that, brother. What's up, Malachi's Corner? How you doing? All right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. All right, where are we at? All right, we're finally at the last one, folks, and then everybody can move on. I've ran this live stream long enough. Number 28, it says, those who can accept and adapt will find survival easier than those who hold on to the past or have unrealistic expectations of the future. So I find that one, I agree with that. I think that holds true because when things change, yes, it'll be nice to reminisce of when it was easy to go to the grocery store and buy some food. It'd be nice. Some of us will miss things. Some of us will miss, like, remember when we used to be able to go to this place and get this type of food or this type of sweets or this type of candy? Man, life was good at that point. But you need to accept the fact that this is the life you're living in, adapt to it, and understand that that's the way it's going to be. Now, I'm not saying things will never get better because things will evolve. With every great destruction comes a rebirth. You know, if we look at history, throughout history, with every demise of something or every destruction, even we'll use a forest fire, for example. A forest fire burns down thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. And all of a sudden, a few years later, you see all these new trees and new plants, animals coming back to that location. So to use that as an example, as something as destructive as a forest fire, down the road, over time, there'll be a rebirth of life and things will slowly get back to normal. It's like that cycle, you know? JT stored lots of chocolate, hard candy, and baking items. That is awesome. And yes, that's awesome. It's super smart. Super smart. All right, folks. So let me ask you, that's the list. And if you want to check out the list and kind of go over it and you know, kind of maybe save that list or read through it again outside of this live stream, it's linked down below. But what did you guys think of this live stream? Do you feel that it was worth an hour and 15 minutes or so of your time? Good night, Mama Bear. That's a good idea, Barbara. Bacon seeds. Yeah, nachos, right? I feel more confident now. Just 5 days in the woods, wanted to stay longer. That's awesome. I'm a survivor. Stewart's Prepping says yes. RWR. Tia Marie. You take care too, Deacon. B Walker, you were late. You can always watch the replay. Little Red Hen says yes. I'm planning prepping future. Considering I just came on, it was worth it. I appreciate that, Tim. Appreciate that, brother Tim. So it looks like there's a resounding yes. I truly appreciate that. You're always worth listening to. Great, man. I appreciate that, Pony Girl. Thank you so much. Before all you guys disappear and click off, because I've seen 10 people are already left, remember, Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do the 1 year / Christmas celebration with you, the viewers. You don't have to be there if you want to and you have the time. I don't want to take away from anybody's family time or, any of that kind of stuff like that. But we'll try to go for an hour and just kind of talk about something positive and fun and just have a good time, kind of chatting amongst each other. It's not going to be topic specific. It's just kind of like a little celebration. Me thanking you and seeing what everybody's doing for Christmas. Maybe we'll talk about Christmas dinner and just stuff like that. I want to have a little bit of fun with it. Nothing too serious, but if you're busy and you have family plans and stuff like that, that's more important than watching Grey. So if you have stuff like to do with your family, make sure that you do that first. It will be at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can be there, I'll appreciate it. But it's not like it's going to be the worst thing if you missed the live stream. Okay, folks? But if I don't see you then, I appreciate that, Barbara. But if I don't see you then, I want to say Merry Christmas to every single one of you amazing people. And God bless. I want to thank you all for being here watching me and spending this hour, almost an hour and 20 minutes with me. I truly appreciate every single one of you folks. You folks are amazing. You make this community amazing. Thank you for all your knowledge and your time and everything. So look forward to seeing you guys then. I'm not sure what I have planned for tomorrow. I'm going to try to knock down something. I'm going to try to have something. I know I have ideas on my head what I want to do, but we'll see how that plays out, and we'll go from there. But other than that, folks, that about wraps it up. And I want everybody to stay safe out there. Please do. And have a very Merry Christmas. All right. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on a rebound. God bless.